You know what to do. You just forgot. He said, examine yourself, prove yourself, whether you be in the faith or not. Right after I got saved, a fellow encouraged me much in the work, was a fellow named Glenn Shunk. And Glenn Shunk's dead and gone now. He was a saved Catholic and got saved and was saved all through World War II. He was in World War II as a combat instrument. And because of that, I had a great deal of respect for him and listened to him, and he had a tremendous effect on me. But he was a great help to me. He's the one that got me street preaching, got me out in the street. He's the one right after I was saved came up alongside me, and he told me, he said, Ruckman, he said, you're going to find out two things about the Christian life. I said, what's that? He said, you're going to find out that the people who are going to hurt you most in the Christian ministry are going to be other Christians. He said that. And then he said, you're going to find out the closer you get to God, the closer you're going to get to the devil. He said that. He's right both times. I must confess, at that time he talked to me, I didn't believe him. But I believe him now. Troy Hardy was a fellow we had come to school here one time. He's up in North Alabama. And Troy Hardy told me he got saved in a church up there, in a Baptist church up there. And then for 20 years after that, not one person in that church ever visited him. 20 years. 20 years. Nobody at that church came around to see him. After 20 years. That's pretty long time. I thank God, Brother Pyle here, when I got saved, he took a little interest in me. And I know whether he plotted or planned it, or whether the Lord laid it on his heart. But he bought me, by me in the radio station where I was working. He saw I was an artist, you know, painted a mural there in the radio station. So he bought me by a little pamphlet of cartoons by E.J. Pace. And E.J. Pace was the cartoonist for the Sunday School Times back around 1920, 1930, and 1940. And that little book was a bunch of cartoons, Christian cartoons. And when he showed me that book, I got looking through that book. Naturally, you know, I mean, everybody's conceited, you know, think about themselves, like I was talking about this morning. So I'm looking at this book and I'm saying, well, I can do better than that. The Lord says, I got you. Now, you know what he did there? He put something in my hand that he knew God could use, and the Lord used it. Now, have you done that to a new convert? Have you been any help to a new convert? Have you been encouragement to a new convert? Let me ask you this. Have you been any assistance to an unsaved person? You say, well, what do you mean assist unsaved people? I'm not having any fellowship with them. I didn't say that. I said, have you been any assistance to them? You say, I got no business helping out unsaved people. No, you're to have a good report of all men, those that are without. God didn't tell you couldn't help unsaved people. God just said, just don't be thick with them. Did you ever help an unsaved man? You know, some Christians get so holy and so separated and so, I'm going to say monasterial, I guess that's a new word, so monastic that they lose all contact with unsaved people and don't ever deal with them at all. But some of you people come in contact with unsaved people from time to time. Did you ever help them out? You say, I need to help the Christians out. That's true, but there may be a time you have a chance to help an unsaved fellow out. Did you ever help an unsaved fellow change a tire? Did you ever help an unsaved fellow get up when he got hurt or fell down? Did you ever help an unsaved neighbor or something get some grass cut when they were too weak to cut the grass? Did you ever take any unsaved neighbors and invite them over to dinner? You guys work out here in plants around here in places with an unsaved crew. Did you ever come along one of those fellows and just ask them by for dinner sometime? You're not going to defile your house. You have a chance to witness to them. You have a better chance to witness to them at the dinner table than you would out there in the job. Out there in the job, you're supposed to be working. You ever do those things? You know, we got an idea. It's the HRS's, IRS, or hell, people workers, whatever roll-off call them, or the government to take care of everybody. But the Christian is supposed to be charitable. And the Christian is supposed to honor all men. And the child of God is supposed to be the helper, not the government. And the thing is, some Christians get so holy and sanctified that they just don't ever help anybody. Just when you get right down to it, I guess they just live for themselves, about what it amounts to. Now, I'm not talking just about winning souls. I'm talking about when you can do a favor for an unsaved person. It won't hurt you to do it. You don't have to compromise to do it. It ain't going to kill you to do it. There's no reason why you couldn't. You make a contact there. Did you ever do that? Were you ever any assistance to anybody? Alice Bruce Mellon she gave $1 billion in Gulf oil stocks to charity. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying you ought to give to charity. I don't know what they did with it after they got it. Maybe somebody embezzled it. God knows what. Anything could have happened to it. But that's indicative of something. That's indicative of generosity. You say, well, the tax write-off and all that, yeah, that's true. But she gave $1 billion to help somebody out. Probably some other way she could have got rid of it. Did you ever, were you any of assistance to anybody at all? That thing about you're just to help just yourself and the children of God, that thing is not a Christian type of thing. There are unsaved people you know that you're in contact with. Some of them might be your relatives. Some of them might be your parents. And just because you have an unsaved parent, that doesn't mean that you ought to treat them like a dog or ignore them when they need help or not try to give them help when you're able to give help. You don't mean to ignore them, but you just forget. Like the text says, examine yourselves, prove your own selves. Now, one more thing about it. When was the last time you ever stuck out your neck for Jesus Christ? When was the last time you ever made a fool of yourself for Christ's sake and stuck out your neck and took a chance on losing friends or a chance on losing money or losing contacts or losing influence for Jesus Christ? Paul said we're fools for Christ's sake. When was the last time you made a fool out of yourself for Jesus Christ's sake? Has some of you ever made a fool out of yourself for Christ's sake? Fred Sharrington, a fellow was given in